So here I want to show you one way that we're working with one of our GIS partners. Even though our assessor's office has advanced GIS technology and we have managed to build applications and maintain the data sets in-house, just in the assessor's office without GIS staff. We also work with a third-party vendor that we had before we had our Esri hub. This is Schneider Corporation's Beacon. We, even though moving into the more advanced tools that we have with the Esri products, something like Beacon was not discarded. The reason being that we should try to understand the nature of these tools. What we see with a tool like this is that it is a basic delivery system of the local government information model. It is like what we see as a vending machine for government data, government documents, and also parcel information, where what we have in ArcGIS Online is more like a kitchen. And just because you have a kitchen in your business doesn't necessarily mean that you don't need a vending machine. And if you have a vending machine, that you don't need a kitchen. So that's sort of our concept with it. The cost for maintaining something like this is very nominal. And our real estate community has learned to use it. Many counties in our region have this service, so it is a uniform system for the real estate community, and they seem to like it. So we go ahead and let them utilize it still, and take on that cost throughout the different departments. And in this case, want to show you how we have used this to integrate it with our ArcGIS Online. First of all, much of all of the data, with our other applications in the office feeding into our CAMA system, links to this map. So there is a lot of one way in. We use this map also to store some documents. We can share documents on a server by saving them by the key numbers that might be attached with certain properties. So we use that for our appeal management systems. When I go in here and take a look at this, so this map, I just want to show you what we've got going on. I'll click on the parcel. It gives us some information. There is an information screen on the property. We also do have the pictometry imagery of it. Which we can link to directly from our other applications. Some of our Esri Hub applications link directly to the Eagle View imagery that we use for our reviews, as we have these aerials updated annually, so that we can minimize our drive times for decision making. But here we are. I'll go back to that parcel information screen and just give you an idea of what they have on there. On here, you can see we have the list. We have our tax bills, and we have our property record cards. We have some basic information about the dwellings on the property, some of the other improvements that are out there, whether we have sheds or garages, all that, some transfer history information. They go ahead and link out to Zillow, so taxpayers can go look at the market and maybe compare it to their assessments. And then also down here at the bottom, we've got a link here to the neighborhood. So here's our property record cards. Also some sales disclosure information. But this link to the neighborhood is very nice. Angie in our office has been working on this project for quite some time, building neighborhood reviews. And what she does is actually using REST services from this service that's connected to our CAMA system, is able to produce maps that are automatically updated whenever changes are made to our CAMA system. So let's click on the neighborhood data. So what this does, it brings it out to a description of the assessor's neighborhood. In this case, it's neighborhood 416. And we can see she's built this nice application here that kind of isolates the neighborhood, shows which properties are sold, gives us some quick statistics, what kind of architectural grades we might expect to see in this neighborhood. And if there makes sense, there's a description to this information. She goes into detail on what these grades mean. It has some, here we can see there are 137 parcels in this neighborhood that we use for measuring. Then we have this the average assessed value. We can see the highest assessed value. And then we can see the average sale price. We can see the highest sale price, just sort of see how these compare. We can see the lowest sale price. And just some real quick information: the average land value and the average improvement value. And over here we have a nice chart that compares our sales to our assessments so that we can see how things are trending. But this is just a nice way for the general public and internal reviewers, appeals decision makers to quickly look at the neighborhood that was used for valuation and what they have. And down here we can see she has some neighborhood data and also these grade descriptions. Let's go ahead and open the grade description link. Looking on the grade description. And this is another just a web page that is built in as a piece of the previous window, built in ArcGIS Online. Here we have the description of the grades, where we lay out the definition of grade, and then we say what is the contributing factor to C grade. Talking things here about the pitch of the roof became something that was determined to be a cost factor and market effect. Here are some other different information on C1, C2, B-1 grade, and hopefully we can see the differences of the designs of these properties and try to understand how one might be more expensive to build than another, and maybe worthy of a higher base grade in the market trending factor and in the replacement cost table production. So going on back, let's take a look at the neighborhood data. See what we have here. All right, here's some information just to talk about the neighborhood data, what school districts it's in, the land value, dwellings. And this is just a way that we can check for equity to make sure that people in this neighborhood are indeed grouped that should be a market. Sometimes we may choose to expand these neighborhoods or decrease them or cut them in half, depending on what the markets are like, depending on factors. If there are a lot of newer homes, maybe over here, and that's why we didn't include it in the neighborhood. That is why this part is isolated. But let's say maybe they determine they could work with larger markets. When all this is updated in our Canvas system, it is automatically updated on our Schneider Corporation Beacon service that then feeds the maps that were used for the review and for building out these web applications. Again, this work was all done in-house by assessors, not GIS technicians. Most of the people in our operation had almost no GIS experience when starting their jobs, but very quickly using the wonderful and user-friendly tools that Esri has provided for us in ArcGIS Online. They've been able to do some this astonishing work. Here at the top of this, we can see a link back to Beacon. We also have a study of some of the sales research tool, which we'll get into in a minute, and we have another vacant land tool. I'm going to go ahead and jump over because Angie in our office works closely with Mary, and they are in charge of assessment reviews. I want to go ahead and show the tool that Mary's been using for residential vacant land sales data. This I set up a Access database that took our sales and parcel land information and puts it into a system that is can be reviewed and had notes made on it and organized and then exported by the reviewer, and they overwrite or append a table in ArcGIS Online that feeds the map. And here we can see this is the residential vacant land, select category. So whereas on the other review tool, the assessor was looking at mostly at real estate and improvements, grades and conditions. Here, the focus is on land, and we can kind of see the things that are going on with the land here. Here's the number count that we have in view. The property's average sold price of one of these vacant land sales, and the average price per acre we have a factor here for. We can then go down and look at the different neighborhoods represented, what type of neighborhoods they are, whether they're major subdivisions or planned developments. Over here we can see the sales by the neighborhoods, what's going on in each neighborhood. And of course, as we cruise around the map, we can see this information here on the dashboard all changes to show us what we're looking at. And here we can control different layers. So we have also a school district layer. There's some other information here about pull this out here, multi-parcel sales, so we can explore those. And here's some other types of properties. We can do automatic filters to parcel size 20.25 or less, just filtering by the acre. So if we wanted to review just a certain kind of property countywide, we can do that. If we wanted to incorporate a different data set, we could do that. Very nice tool. We have some other filtering options that can be done, again, by neighborhood or by the taxing district that may be of importance. Some of these land sales tools also we have because of the school districts, and those things are kind of a factor when we see vacant land sales that we learn about in our studies. So this is just another study tool. These are available to the general public also, which we found has built a lot of trust in the community and has reduced our appeal intake significantly. Again, these are all built in ArcGIS Online. Just wanted to try to give a description of the tools that are being used in the Tippecanoe office to streamline workflows and communicate with the public.